Each week, American History TV's American Artifacts takes viewers behind the scenes at archives, museums, and historic sites.
Here we are in the middle of the courtyard to the Milwaukee County Courthouse. And what we're seeing here is vestiges of a wonderful 19th century space. Notice at the top that we have the glass skylight, and of course that was an important piece in all these 19th century buildings, because before the time of electricity, the more they could rely on the natural light, the better the whole building would be able to function. And what we have here is an incredibly well done restoration project that's been going on for well over a decade and a half now. In the 1890s, when this space was first built, a lot of what we see here was just something that the city was able to offer the population. By the 1920s, however, in a restoration process to modernize the space, the beige paint was given to the whole interior area. So this wonderful stencil work was hidden by the next generations that came in here. By the 1920s, the space was known as the post office, and the wrought iron work that you see here was the only, was the first floor covering. And so people came in to buy their stamps and do their postal work and didn't know what was on the upper floors. In fact, by the 1990s, when the restoration work was started, there were some workmen who were on one of the upper floors and saw some bubbling in the walls. And that's when they thought perhaps it was water damage. What they found was that it was the stencil work coming through. And then the detective work started, and they started to discover all the stencil patterns that had been lost throughout the building. So what we're seeing here today is really a marvelous restoration and a detective story which the city of Milwaukee and its visitors are now able to rediscover. I might remind you too that if you look at the upper floors, you're going to be able to see how the stencil work changes floor to floor, and how the ornateness of the railings improve as we go up through the building. And we're going to be able to get a closer look at that further on up. If you look at some of the posts here in the building, you're also going to see that we have some marble posts on the exterior, and then the wonderful trick on the interior of faux marble. And so when you look at the post, you see marble, and then when you get closer, we'll be able to detect that it's really painted posts to look like marble. And the Conrad Schmidt studio here in Milwaukee is the studio that was expert in doing all of this restoration work. And it's still a jewel box, which a lot of people in the city don't even know is here. And it's been in the last 10 years that we've been able to start drawing attention to this wonderful old lady here on Wisconsin Avenue.
Watch American Artifacts every Sunday at 8 a.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. Eastern on C-SPAN 3.